All right, it is now time for the Week 7 Fantasy Show. Back for another week as we hit the meets time of the schedule, middle point of the season. Looking at what happened in Week 6 last week. Starting at the top with my matchup versus Anth in a high scoring affair. Was it the closest matchup of the week? Besides Rat and Bill. It was the closest high scoring match of the week, and then obviously Tyler and Slaps. And I fall to Anth 141.38 to 137.36. Anth moves to 4 and 2, so a massive win for him in this big battle with a lot of Monday night fireworks as we had some players on Monday night both pop off. And Sunday night for Anth, he got a huge performance from Patrick Mahomes on Sunday Night Football against that horrible Lions defense. They just could not stop Mahomes. 31 huge points, 4 total touchdowns. I had a slight glimmer of hope that I was going to win this one until that Sunday night game from Mahomes. It was just unbelievable how many touchdowns he got and how wide open all the receivers for Kansas City were. So that made it a lot less likely. But then on Monday Night Football, I had gotten a big game from DeAndre Swift. He had 108 yards on the ground, as well as 2 catches for 67 and a touchdown that he broke, which gave me a slight glimmer of hope. I was down by like 6 points, and then he got a few more yards to cut it to 4. And then at the end of the game, I was hoping somehow he would just break one for another touchdown run to win, but they only needed a field goal, so they just played for the field goal. He probably would have went down even if they let him score, unless he was so stupid. But congrats to Anth, big win from him. Drake London as well on Monday night got him 31.8 points. James Cook really didn't do anything, but between Mahomes and London both getting over 30, tough to overcome. My team, though, despite my quarterback not taking advantage of that Jets matchup, that was disappointing. The rest of my team, though, pretty solidly performed. I also had Marvin Harrison get hurt mid-game with a concussion and only get 5.2. So who knows? If he might have stayed healthy that whole game, maybe I pulled this one out if he gets 4 more points in that game. Brian Thomas was a nice bright spot. Finally had a big game with 23 points. And Pickens continues to dominate. Hopefully, CD just takes his time. Keep taking your time. On Ant's side, he did have some disappointing performances from Pittman. Etienne didn't do much, and James Cook, as we said. But he got enough to pull out this high-scoring victory, and is now 4 and 2. Sends me to 2 and 4. Like I said before, I really would have liked this victory this week to go to 3 and 3, but it didn't happen. So congrats to Anth. I know he's spitting the narratives that he was the underdog and that everybody was shitting on him, not giving him a chance, and whoa, whoa, whoa is him, his poor little team. But his team was better and scored 141 and deserved a win. Anyone want to make comments on this matchup?
Okay.
Are you claiming unluckiness, golfer?
Um, I mean, there is a little bit of luck considering I had the third highest points in the week.
Okay,
So, yeah, if I played 70% of the rest of the league, I would have won. So,
What's
yeah,
your record, golfer?
I already said 2 and 4.
How many of those losses are unlucky?
Just this one.
Maybe you're just a bad team.
I mean, if I didn't get this unlucky win this week, I'd be 3 and 3. I'd be right there. Do I
That's
think
all
my
I'm gonna
team is the
say.
Do I think my team is the best team in the league? No, but do I think it's a little better than 2 and 4? I had a slow start to the year, but the
That's
last
all I
last
have
3
to
weeks
say.
I've scored over like 120 each, including 161 and now 137. So it's been a lot better than the first 3 weeks of the year. And
It's a
I
good
just
sign.
need certain people to keep performing. I need Genty to keep looking strong. Brian Thomas, they both got horrible starts to the year, and they've looked a lot better the last 3 weeks. So they got to keep that up. They're the backbone of my team. I like my team better than some people. When I play Cronky's comments that he sent in here in a little bit, you'll hear he makes a pretty bold statement about my team in there, which I disagree with. But we'll get to that here when we get to Cronky's matchup. All right, moving on then to the next matchup. This was kind of a surprise. Ernie gives Pook his first win of the season to go to 1-5. Pook pulls out a victory
That
pretty
is a
easily.
surprise.
120.56 to 91. 91 points for Ernie's team. He is now 2-4. Same record as me. I'll be curious to see Zach's comments on that after what he just said about my 2-4 team. Interesting. I'm sure he'll be, sucking the cock a lot more positive about Ernie's team that's 2-4. But anyways, Pook gets his big first victory. For people that are 2-4, we would have liked Pook to lose. So Ernie could have did us a favor, but instead his team absolutely shit the bed. Saquon Barkley on Thursday night did not do anything for him, 8.7 points. That continues to look rough as the Eagles just do not look on like the running Eagles of last year with Barkley. Drake May, though, continues to have solid, good games, so at least his quarterback position has been looking good. Judkins, only 3.6 points. All this hype about Judkins, that's now 2 bad weeks in a row. Well, 13.8 is not bad, but this was a
13's
horrible
fine.
week. Yeah, but this was a bad week. 36 yards on the ground only. A.J. Brown did get 14. He did look a little better than he has in the previous weeks. But then Ernie picks up an injury. Garrett Wilson goes out. Only got 4.3 and now has an injury that might sideline him for a little bit, so that's rough. And Njoku, who he acquired for 30-plus point frickin' Rico Dowdle the last 2 weeks, 5.8 points. Good trade there, Ernie. David Montgomery, 8.10. So overall, just a whole lot of mid-single-digit points for most of Ernie's team, and that's what gets to 91 on the season. On Pook's side, 120 strong showing for him as Cam Scatabo got him started on Thursday Night Football with 31 huge points, 3 touchdowns, a hat trick. Dak Prescott continues to look good. I will say, though, the trade for Pook did not work out, at least this week. Breece Hall, who he traded for Kamara. Kamara got 12 points. Breece Hall only got 5.9. He traded for Diggs, who got banged up and only got 5.8 points. And DK had 19, so that didn't work. Jalen Waddle did all right with 15. Not bad there. But overall, when you're trading away Jefferson, DK, and Kamara, and 2 of those 3 get way less points than the ones you traded away. You could have beat Ernie this week by even more if you didn't do that yet. But we'll see moving forward. 1 week doesn't totally just seal the deal on the trade. He did start A.J. Barner with Brock Bowers being out, and that was a good move. He got 10 points. Shakir continues to be kind of a disappointment this year. A single point digit game, 6.3. Henderson, another huge disappointment for where he was taken, another 4.6 game, as they just do not want to give him the full workload. And Pinheiro, Pook's kicker, had 18. That's a big bright spot. Overall, congrats to Pook. First win of the season is a big one for him. He did not want to go to 0-6. There's been teams before that have started like 1-5 or 1-4 and made a comeback and actually gotten into the playoffs the last few years. So maybe Pook will be that here with this first win against Ernie. Anybody want to make any comments on this matchup or these teams?
No
comment.
No comment, really.
AJ Brown is cooked.
Well, I mean, the last comment is Pook's not coming back from 0-5.
Oh yeah, no, I said this last
Okay.
week. Pook's
So-
not come back to the
so he's
playoffs.
still
but he
not
could
in.
avoid
Very-
last. He could avoid last. He could avoid last.
Okay.
Most certainly could avoid last. Playoffs are kind of cooked for him.
Oh, really?
I'm going to put the hot take.
I mean, he would need to win like 6 in a row, basically.
Teams competing for last place will be Bill and Pook.
Really?
But we know. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of 2-4 teams. You don't
Yeah,
know.
but I like the Bill has the worst 2-4 team, and Pook is just
Okay.
started in the gutter. So it
I
doesn't
was
help.
going to ask in just a minute who we think is getting...
I mean, I think
Last.
Bill's team is kind of cooked more for last, just because
Okay.
everybody gets hurt all the time.
All right. What about Ernie's team? He's got a
I
big
think
injury
Ernie's.
now.
Ernie's got a
Depends on how
solid
long the
team.
injuries are.
T. Higgins ain't really that great.
I think
The issue
your
with
2-4
Ernie's
team
team is
the
the
safest.
issue with Ernie's team is that his Eagles boys are like fine, but they're not like big star points every week.
And that's a big part of his team that he drafted in the early rounds.
Yeah, like if Saquon was
Jeez, you
putting
just
up,
hurt your arm in there.
no, I'm saying like his team's not the worst. Like it's like fine, but it's not like I don't think it's a real contender without some of these Eagles boys stepping
Okay,
up, which
but
they
I asked
could.
if he could get last, not if he
No,
could
I don't think
make
I think Ernie has no chance. He's not
Okay.
getting last.
Bill
I
or
think he's getting
Pook,
last.
in my opinion.
Okay.
No.
Your
Unless
team's the safest.
unless
Oliver,
Ernie's team
out of everybody.
falls is in a car crash
It's
and they
2
all
and
die,
4.
he's definitely not getting last.
All right. Interesting. Okay, moving on. You know what? We'll save Pusas for the last ones because I got to pull up his DM. Moving on to the matchup between Zach and Zombie. Zach left the party randomly, which I guess we'll wait and see if he joins back. Maybe he just didn't want to make any comments about Ernie's team, thinking I'll forget when he joins back, but I definitely will remember to ask
He's
him.
back.
Oh, hello, Zach.
Hello?
Hello,
Your
Zach.
matchup.
Did you want to make any comments real quickly before we go to your matchup about the Ernie and Pook matchup?
Yeah, I mean, Pook was due. You can't lose them all.
Okay. I mean, you could, but okay. All right. Any comment about Ernie's team? 2-4, 91 points this past week.
Bad week.
It's a,
Oh,
It's a bad week.
okay. That's what I was asking. All right, moving on to your matchup. A team that did not have a bad week. Your team, the Jackson 5, gets a big victory over Zombie. I'm not going to call it an upset, but I do know there were some people that picked Zombie this past week. 130.54 to 105.52, so kind of a bad week for Zombie compared to what he was doing the previous 3 weeks. He was putting up monster points, and then this week he only scores 105. And this is all with Zach only getting 9.3 points from his quarterback. Stafford had a rough game against that horrible Baltimore defense. But then Jonathan Taylor did his normal thing, continues to look like a beast RB1 this season. Bill, disappointment. Bill is very boom or bust. Last week he had a monster game, and then this week he fumbles and only has 5.8 points. Lad McConkey, though, that shout out to Lad. That trade has worked so far for Zach. Scary Terry has missed the last couple weeks, and Lad has actually looked better and better each week. 23 big points, 100 yards receiving, a touchdown, 9 targets, and 7 catches. So
right.
definitely, I mean, Cheech, you can't deny he's looking like
but also
he
Johnson
looked this
been
week
hurt.
like the Lad that we drafted him to
Yeah,
be.
but Johnson's been hurt. He's gonna come back.
But
Thank you for that copium, Cheese.
But
You know
but I
who
think
else
you're
has been
forgetting
hurt,
that
buddy?
Johnson before the season was not expected to be like the guy, and in the first few weeks he was. But now maybe the injury kind of rebalances and reshifts
Terry's
how
back
the
this
wide
week. We'll
receivers
see
are
what
supposed to
happens.
be.
You know who else has been hurt? Scary Terry, unfortunately.
and
He's
there was
back
always
this week.
a chance for bounce back because Lad always plays in 2 wide receiver sets. He's the only one that plays in 2 wide receiver sets fully, compared to Keenan Allen and Quentin
Taylor is
Johnson.
tearing his ACL next week, so.
Go
Wow.
fuck yourself. You know who's due to tear their ACL, buddy. I don't even need to say his name.
He's so safe this year. Everyone else getting hurt but him. It's literally not happening.
Okay.
Might happen.
Until this week.
Other big performances from Zach. The Joe Flacco era started in Cincinnati, and it was a great start for Jamar Chase. He made an unbelievable touchdown catch with 2 guys draped all over him for 25 big points. At that point, the matchup kind of turned on Sunday and started to favor Zach once Jamar made that touchdown. You also had to start Zach Ertz because Kincaid was out, and that worked perfectly fine as well. 6 catches, 43 yards, and a touchdown. So that was a good.
Thanks for that,
thing.
golfer.
You're
That was
welcome.
you, buddy.
That was a throw-in that you said was just a throw-in, but it turned out to be big for you this week.
Yeah, that trade that was almost vetoed literally won me last week. So shout out to all the people who approved.
Yep.
That trade of
That's
cheese.
why that trade shouldn't be vetoed when they're not that egregious, which that wasn't. Great trade for you. Jaylen Warren was kind of a downside, only had 8.3 points. And hey, your kicker actually did all right, 8.5. You'll take that every
positive,
week.
I will take.
Meanwhile, Zombie's kicker, minus 2 points. He started Travis Hunter, who continues to not look great for fantasy. I mean, maybe in real life he's okay, not a bust, but in fantasy he's not that great. Zay Flowers also, he needs Lamar to come back to have any type of relevance. Tyler Warren continues to do his thing as a top tight end this year. And then Zombie had a slim glimmer of hope, but he needed Odunze to pop off, and he did not. Only 5.2 points. Could have had, if you see that tweet, could have easily had 30-some points, which would have made this very interesting and close if those calls, those penalties didn't wipe out all his huge points and his touchdowns. So I mean, it would have been razor thin because you won by 25, and I think the tweet said he would have had like 35 something. So you actually would have lost if those flags weren't called on Odunze. So great job by the refs to help you there, Zach. And then the big story was Zombies. Lions boys kind of let him down this week. Goff only had 16. Amon-Ra was dropping passes and only had 13.7. Achane tried with 31. The guy's just a beast. But overall, rough week from Zombie, down week. He's 3-3. Zach 4-2 now, so very strong start to the season. Good bounce back from Zach. I mean, just a couple weeks ago, we were talking about how horrible the Jackson 5 was down to like one player.
Overreaction.
And then all he's done is win the last couple weeks since then. So good turnaround, good trades made, Zach, good fantasy management to turn this lineup around.
Thanks
I'm
to
giving you
Cheese
credit
for those trades. Thanks to Cheese and Golfer.
Yep, I'm giving you credit. Good job. So don't ever say I don't ever, speak highly of you. You've turned this around and have a 4-2 start. Anybody want to make any comments?
You mean 5-2? I'm not going to get too ahead of ourselves in the show here, but 5-2.
Okay, all right.
I'm
do you want to
facing
make
a guy
comments?
starting 3 tight ends, by the way.
Okay, as far as your matchup with Zombie, did you want to make any comments about this victory?
It was never in doubt. Zombie is not what he used to be.
Okay. All right, interesting. Zombie's team was crowned a couple weeks ago from a lot of us as like one of the best teams in the league. And then, we put that dreaded up, but, perfect teams can pick up injuries and change things. And then as Hampton gets hurt and, then he kind of has a bad week. I'm not going to overreact on Zombie's team just yet, but, maybe we just have to pull the brakes on that a little bit. Although I did receive a very interesting DM from Zombie yesterday that almost made me wish full injury on his whole team. I sent him a trade offer and he didn't counter. He just declined. And I said, wow, you're not going to counter on what you would want? And he said, no, I'm not trading right now. So that just screams to me that you think your team is perfect if you're not looking to trade at all. So, hopefully a couple more injuries for Zombie's running backs happen, because then he'll be wanting to trade for a running back that I was offering him. But anyways, anyone else want to make any comments on Zombie or Zach's team?
On paper, to look at everybody in the league, what team I would want, it comes down to Zombie still, to be honest.
Okay.
Because he gets Rice back this week, so that's
he does.
That's getting one back. His running backs will be fine. I mean, Chain's fine. We'll see. I don't know. I think he'll be fine.
I think I'd rather have Kroenke's team over Zombies.
I like Kroenke's team, but I think it's missing a couple things.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think Zombies' team's missing things as well.
I guess.
But all right. Moving on then to the next matchup in one of the Ship Bowl matchups of the week.
Woohoo.
We saw Rat pull out a 3-point victory, 95.94 to 92.56. Bill, he got a win last week against Pook, but then falls this week. And, this is what is this like the third or fourth week in a row that Bill has scored less or like right around 100 points or less than 100 points. It's not been great from Bill's teams, and he falls to Rat. Rat picks up a much needed win to go to 3-3. I'm just going to say it. The Rat will disagree, but out of all the 3-3 teams, the Rats team is by far the worst. I don't know how the hell this team is 3-3. Actually, I do know how it's 3-3. Rico Dowdle. That's how it's 3-3. The last 2 weeks, he has absolutely carried Rat to victories. Although this time, he scores over 30 points and doesn't score over 100. So he was like 33% of your fucking team's points this week. Meanwhile, last week against me, he was like fucking 33 and you scored like 140 some. So, Baker Mayfield had a nice game. Rico Dowdle had a nice game, and that was probably it. As we see here, everybody else, Worthy had 10. Everybody else was in single digits. He had to start M. Taylor at tight end, and that did not work, as the Jets are horrible. Devontae Smith only had a single digits. He had to start Coleman, who had only 4. J.K. Dobbins had a rough game against the Jets. That whole Broncos offense did. It was literally Baker and Rico Dowdle, and somehow that was good enough to beat Bill's team. Because on Bill's side, Derrick Henry had 14, and Justin Herbert had 18, and then McMillan had a nice game with 17. Ibuka got hurt, so that's a crusher for Bill, as he's already hurt at wide receiver with Ridley being ass, having to start 2 tight ends. So that continues not to work. Add another loss to the column of when you start 2 tight ends and losing. So a lot of issues for Bill's team. Gibbs only had his worst game in a while with 7.5. Overall, very rough for Bill, and very unfortunate that the state the team's in right now. But we'll see if he ends up making moves down the road here. He's still high on Henry. Me and Cheese almost had a trade with him today, which would have included Henry, but he wants to hold him. He believes in the upside of Derrick Henry. I mean, it hasn't been since week 1 where we've seen the upside. So this has been freaking 5 weeks now of very mediocre and bad. So I don't know, but we'll see. Rat, your comments after squeaking out what a lot of people would call a Mickey Mouse win.
Well, Nico on bye and CD hurt. I hopefully have him back this week and see how the full team healthy is.
Okay.
That's all I have to say.
All right. Yeah. Well,
My
you
two
were
big
able to
dogs.
survive the injury of CeeDee Lamb, as you know you're 3-3, so you were able to survive it.
The position I'm worried about is tight end.
Okay. Who is your tight end? Well,
Justin Fields' main target. Hopefully,
you don't have any other tight end?
well, Brenton Strange, but he's hurt.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause everybody got hurt on my team.
Okay.
But hopefully, the 10 passes that Justin Fields throws can go to him.
Good luck with that. I think I'd be looking at waivers for a different tight end.
Yeah.
Anyways, anyone want to make any comments on Bill's team at 2-4? I know you said a little bit ago, a few of you said that you think that could be the last place team at the moment.
Well, I mean, looking at his team, and
what's
like
the news on Ibuka? He's not
A
expected to
couple
play
weeks.
A couple weeks.
Probably a
so-
couple weeks.
well, they have a
He's
bye
not
week
like
9,
IR.
so he's like 4 weeks basically.
Okay.
I don't know. Jerry Jeudy sucks. Well, he doesn't suck, but his
At
quarterback
what point
sucks.
do you? I mean, Calvin Ridley had a good game in week
Calvin
5. So I guess
Calvin
that's
Ridley,
Calvin
is
got
like,
hurt too,
no,
though.
Calvin Ridley had 2 points and then he got hurt. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying the week before. I was gonna say at what point do you stop playing Calvin Ridley?
And
But he
after
had
this,
18 in week 5, so that's why he started him.
I mean, he's
After
playing
the
3
lineup we
tight
see
ends.
today,
It's over. It's
After
over.
yeah.
Like, even if Herbert gets 20 and like Gibbs gets 20 and let's say Kittle gets like 15, like
he does
that's
have
like
Kittle coming back.
he's not getting any points.
Yeah, he does have. I don't know. When I look at this team, it looks to me like a team that thinks we're in a dynasty league where you have to start 2 quarterbacks because he's got 3 pretty solid
Yeah.
quarterbacks, but you can
Well, I'm
only
saying,
play
like,
one,
even,
Bill.
Even if
so
he's getting like 20 from Herb, Gibbs, let's just say McMillan, let's say he gets
And-
60 from those guys, 15 from Gibbs, 75, and then he maybe gets what, 20 from everybody else? Like,
and
it's
based
not...
on his trade insights, he was telling me he's trying to trade Herbert to Zombie, but I don't think Zombie's going to be biting and paying very
Buddy,
much for a
Zombie
quarterback.
keeps messaging me, I want Josh Allen, and then I say Achane, and then he doesn't respond. So he doesn't really want Josh Allen.
Cool.
Well, I
Nobody's
mean,
paying that
I don't
price.
blame him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
whatever.
He's
nobody's
not even-
responding
yeah,
to
but
that.
he's
You're
not
not
even
paying
But I
countering.
like
He's
that
not
you're
even
asking for
countering.
that price, Cheese. I like that you're
I'm not
asking.
selling him to Zombie for anything less than like 2 of his good players.
I like that, Cheese. That's
I
good.
mean, I'll take Rashi Rice and Javonte Williams back.
There you go. I like that. That's a good price. Make him
I
pay.
need some of his good players back if he wants
I
Josh
agree.
Allen over Jared Goff.
I agree.
He's not giving me any counters.
All right, moving on then to the next matchup, the closest heartbreaking matchup of the season so far, as Slaps picks up a under 100 point victory, 99.3 to 98.04, and it's all because late in the game when the Commanders were driving to possibly win the game, Jaden Daniels fumbles on a handoff to the running back, and that went from Tyler up by 1 to Tyler down by 1 and cost Tyler the matchup as the Commanders never got the ball back. and Slaps was victorious. This matchup, kind of surprising. I thought both teams would score a lot more, especially because Tyler's team had been on fire until this week. But Tyler had a lot of rough performances. He also picked up an injury with Puka Nacua, so we'll see what happens with that. He only got 4.8 points. As we said, Daniels had a nice game, a nice comeback game, but that fumble at the end ends up costing him. Rashad White continues to look very good in place of Bucky Irving, so at least that's been a seamless transition for him. Kenneth Walker, man, you just can't figure this guy out. A couple weeks ago, he had some 18-point games and was looking really good. Look at the snap percentage. He gets less than 50% or 50% or less of the snaps, which is just crazy based off how Kenneth Walker was looking just a couple years ago, that he's now kind of becoming a committee. So that's rough. DJ Moore also got banged up in the game, got 8.2 points. So Tyler's wide receiver is a little banged up. Travis Kelce had a pretty decent game, though, with 13. Keenan Allen has kind of slowed down as well, whereas Ladd has kind of picked up. That's single digits now in 2 of the last 3 weeks. And then Olave got 15. He has been pretty solid overall this season. Hit double digits every week except week 4. So pretty solid last flex spot player. That's been a good pick. Good move by Tyler. But overall, not enough to crack 100 and win this matchup thanks to that fumble. On Slaps' side, I feel bad for him. He went to watch his Denver Broncos in London, what should have been just an offensive explosion game and a great game to watch, and it turned into the worst, ugliest football game of the year between the Broncos and the Jets. At least he saw the Broncos win, but it was not pretty. And Justin Fields with 4.9 points. So not only are you going there and watching your Broncos not perform, but then you have the fantasy quarterback on the Jets side who also just gets shut down. Rough for Slaps. He really needs to find some type of quarterback because I don't think Fields is going to give you that upside that you were hoping for. Kyron had an okay game, though. Nice game with 16. He continues to look pretty good. Unfortunately for the Joe Flacco era in Cincinnati, it helped Chase, but it did not help Chase Brown, as he once again got single digits. Devontae Adams, who was the big pickup for him just a few weeks ago when he traded away Hurts and Trey McBride, that has not really worked out. As since the trade, he's had 13.8 and 7.9. I mean, 13.8 is not bad, but when you're giving up Hurts and Trey McBride, you're wanting a stud wide receiver, and unfortunately, you didn't get that. But maybe moving forward with Puka Nacua injured, maybe that helps Adams a little bit. Debo also had come back down to earth with fat diarrhea number of 5.4 and banged up. No surprise there. Darren Waller did okay, got a touchdown again. He's gotten a touchdown all 3 weeks since he's kind of become the guy there with Tyreek Hill down. Josh Jacobs had a monster game with 32. That's kind of the big bright spot. Him and Kyron on Slaps' team are the bright spots, but the wide receivers are looking rough now with the injuries. He also started a 2 tight end strat, and this one did win, so you can put that in the record book of a win, although it was only 99 points. Maybe we should keep track of how many times when you start 2 tight ends you score less than 100 points. It was 2-0 this week. 12 points for Tucker Kraft. He did get in the end zone, bright spot. I mean, unfortunately, when you look at Slaps' team, he kind of has to start the 2 tight ends moving forward, maybe even 3 tight ends with Hawkinson, because his wide receivers are either banged up or not performing. Maybe you have to bench Chase Brown and just go with Kyron Jacobs and 2 or 3 tight ends. I don't know. It's rough. That trade, we're going to keep coming back to it. I know Slaps keeps trying to justify it and saying how he had to do it, but I don't know if you really did have to do it because you're starting 3. You're probably going to start 2 or 3 tight ends every week now. Well, I would have much rather you been Hurts and 3 tight ends of McBride and Waller and fucking well, you wouldn't have had Kraft, but I mean, I would have rather done McBride and Waller and Hurts and had a quarterback and go with Kyron and freaking Jacobs as your running backs. I don't know. I don't think that trade really helped his team at all. I think it made it worse. But that's
gifted Pusa hurt. It's a tragedy.
Yeah. But, that's the panic. Credit to Pusa. He knows Slaps. He's always going to panic after a gruesome bad injury to Slaps' team, and he was there to capitalize. He examined and found the players that Slaps liked on his team and was willing to give them up to get those big time players away from Slaps and do a 2-for-1 basically. Anybody have any comments on this matchup or either of these teams?
Slaps is cooked. He tried to offer me Chase Brown and Justin Fields for Josh Allen, and then he said, I know that trade's bad, but that's my off. Yeah, so he knew it was bad.
Golfer,
great.
I think at the beginning of this matchup, you said it was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
One guy doesn't care, and the other guy was asleep. So I don't think it was really heartbreaking.
I'm gonna say that Slaps.
Tyler did comment. Listen, this is how you know this was heartbreaking, because Tyler, who doesn't care and doesn't comment very much, commented right after this happened. So.
Okay, good point.
Yeah, Slaps is by far the worst 4-2 team.
Okay, I would agree with that.
Sorry, Slaps.
How many teams are there that?
There's like a bunch now. The standings are very tight this year.
Hold on. I might have
There's
a feeling
five.
on that.
There's five
Hold on.
teams.
Let me see the teams.
I would agree.
On Twitter.
I don't. Who's 4-2? That's worse.
Nobody, unless you want to say me and be a dickhead.
Cheese is worse.
I kind of want to say cheese.
Really?
I like Josh Jacobs and Kyron Devo. Devo and Adams is not that bad. You're making it. And Tucker Kraft is. It's just his quarterback. If you get this quarterback figured out, it's fine.
Chase Brown is absolutely fucking useless.
Chase Brown's like a.
Darren Waller is not scoring. No, he's not. Chase Brown gets 8 points.
8 to 10 consistent points could be considered the last.
Darren Waller is not going to touchdown every week.
I think it's close, but I would still say Cheese's team, right? And especially with the injuries that Slaps might have, I would say him slightly. It's close. It's close. All right, and then let's move on to the final matchup of this past week. Speaking of Cheese's team, it did not perform this past week. After picking up that crazy win last week, he falls this week to Kroenke in the biggest blowout ass raping, as Kroenke said, belt to ass matchup of the week. Kroenke has a huge score, 179.42. Is that the most this year so far?
Yeah.
So Kroenke now in position to get that end of a season award if nobody beats 179.42. So he has set that standard. 179.42 to 94.9, under 100 points. A lot of teams under 100 points this week. Josh Allen had an okay game, but didn't look great as the Bills. I can't figure out the Bills. Their defense isn't very good. They get torched by other teams' best players. And really, if they're not scoring 30 plus points, they're not winning. So that's now 2 losses in a row for the Bills. Christian McCaffrey did his normal thing, but had to start R.J. Harvey, who didn't look great. Although he did have more points than J.K. Interesting enough, because he got 4 catches. Jacoby Myers he's kind of slowed down after those first couple weeks of the year. He's had single digits in the last 4 weeks. That's not great. Sutton was a huge disappointment. Sutton is a little bit kind of boomer bust. He either has a big week or he has a shit week. Look at that. 1.6 in week 2 after having 18 in week 1. But then he bounced back with 23, 19, but then 2.7.
I don't know. He fucked Bonek's wife or something.
Broncos just look like complete ass. I don't think.
Well, we were good enough to beat the Eagles.
I think Sutton's still good.
Week, so.
Yeah, but you probably played the worst ball.
I mean, I already said this game was the worst game of the season in the NFL.
Who's at the highest?
Sean Payton
of the year.
The play calling was horrible.
But he had the 3rd highest scoring week of Sleeper era.
Who are you talking about?
Who's his score this week?
Oh,
okay. 3rd highest.
3rd highest scoring.
The only slight people were giving shit to Cheese for picking up this Knight guy, but he actually did okay in replace of Michael Carter with 12. So not horrible. Ferguson did all right, got in the end zone again. And then Sterling Shepard didn't do too much. On Kroenke's side, I mean, it's hard to find people that didn't perform. He had 20 from Hurts. He had to start both Atlanta running backs, which we were kind of giving him shit, but it actually kind of worked. He got a touchdown early on from Algier, and then you knew it was going to be great. 10 from him, and then 35 from Bijan. Just a huge game for Bijan. And then you follow that up with 30 from JSN. Wide receiver 1 this year, no doubt about it. Actually, he's wide receiver 2. Who's number 1?
Puka.
Oh, Puka, yeah. But, with the injury now, if he misses, JSN could be wide receiver 1 next week. Just another huge game. He just constantly double-digit targets on Seattle. It's just incredible. Bourne has had 2 great weeks filling in for the injured 49ers, so that's been a good pickup for Kroenke. He did have to start Theo Johnson at tight end, who didn't do anything. He also started McBride. So another 2 tight end that actually worked, but that's mainly because he had 30-plus performances from Bijan and fucking JSN. McBride, 21 as well. Of course, Jameson Williams, the week before when we needed him to get 40 yards, he got 9, and then this week he gets 68 and touchdown and 18 big points. And then just to top it off, to just rub salt in the wound, Cameron Dicker with 18 as well, just to join in on the party of just a monster week for Kroenke's lineup that she's just ran into the buzzsaw. And I hate to say it, but looking at the lineup moving forward with JJ coming back in this lineup, it hates me to say it, but some more of these type of weeks could happen for Kroenke's team moving forward. You can tell he's in a very positive state about his team, and he did send me a voice message that he wants me to play, and you can hear the positivity about his team in his lineup.
So are you playing it right now?
I'm about to play it right now. Yes. Do you want to join the Discord before I hit play, or you want to just watch it back later?
All right, hold on.
While we're waiting on that, Cheese, why don't you give us your comments about this absolute ass raping?
Everybody on Pusa's team had their season highs this week. Can't really do much about it. My team, we were expecting a lower score with some players I had to start. So this is our lowest score of the season by far. So we're probably going to bounce back. But yeah, Pusa's team looks really good, and I don't like that we gifted him Jefferson and Hurts, but
it's okay.
What do you mean questions that you had to start?
No, I had to start RJ Harvey, who we knew was not going to do that much.
Does Woody Marks do that much though?
I would say he had a better.
He did leave Hollywood Brown and Booty on your bench.
Okay, well, Booty was never starting. I could have started Brown. It wouldn't have made a difference.
It wouldn't have, but you would have got some more points.
Yeah, Brown, I was trying to start for upside this week, just after Courtland Sutton had a shit game. I was trying to start for upside. I thought maybe
that was shit. Can't even hear anything.
That Shepard would pop off.
Zach.
But yeah, it happens.
Okay.
We'll bounce back.
Are you ready now, Zach? I'll play it.
I'm kind of. This was our worst week by long, and we still almost hit 100, so it's not that bad.
No.
All right. Well, if we're gonna play it, hold on. Let me get back in there.
Always the positive from Cheese.
Love to see it.
You're always the positive. I like it.
It's not like I'm hitting 40 points and breaking my record.
Listen, the good news is you're 4-2, so you're still in firm.
And yes, last week
position.
I picked up the win.
Play it.
All right, let's hear Pusa.
Here's
live from the mountains.
Gonna keep it short and simple. I beat the absolute fuck out of Cheese last week. Beat him by 85. You are just a fucking joke, you little fucking Jew.
Okay.
All right, let's move to next week. I'll pick Tyler in Golfer first. Golfer has the worst team in the league, so Tyler's gonna win that.
That's crazy. I think I'm better than at least
Ernie and Cheese. That is just a horrific matchup. We got a Jew on one side and one guy that's got a girlfriend now, so it doesn't really check fantasy. I guess the Jew's going to win and move to 5-2. His team is just in shambles. He says that he has bye problems. He's got fucking lineup problems. Moving along here. We got an Anthony slaps. I think Slaps is going to pull this away. I think Slaps is going to move to 5-2. Looks like, Anth's got a little couple of buys, so we're going to go with Slaps in that one. Get the Bill and Zach. Holy shit, Bill. You need some fucking players, man. This is a horseshit lineup. Zach's going to win that easy. Not surprised. And then Rat and Zombie. Rat's luck's finally going to run out. And Zombie's going to beat him by 50. And then me and Pook. Pook says he's going to go 7-1 and make the playoffs. He's going to have to go 7-0. My team, thanks to the couple trades that I've recently made, has positioned myself to be one of the contenders in this league, and I hope I stay healthy.
There you go. He basically just said that he thinks his team is perfect. That's what I took out of that.
He did say that.
Yeah.
He did say that.
That's what I took out of that. Any comment, Rat? Because I'm sure you didn't hear it because you never joined the Discord.
I didn't join. What did he say about me?
You said your team is
for him.
your luck is going to run out and you're going to lose by 50 this week.
It's fine. I've been injured, but we'll see how I bounce back.
Okay. All right.
Your thing about Justin Jefferson, J.J. McCarthy, I honestly was wrong. Pook was right. That Carson Wentz is better than J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah,
we saw it for 3 weeks.
But it's Jefferson. He's still gonna get some points.
But J.J. McCarthy.
You even saw Jamar Chase. He was getting points with Browning and now Flacco. He's still gonna get some points.
Yeah, but we'll see.
And it's not like J.J. is Kroenke's number one only wide receiver. He's got other players. So,
ridiculous the team we gifted him.
I don't think he has the best team.
It's not all of us. You don't think he has the best team? Who do you think has the best team?
I still think Zombie.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. All right. So there we have week 6 in the books. Looking at the standings, we have another week with a new person at the top. With that win, Anth now jumps Tyler to the top spot, 4-2. As Cheese said, we have a long line of 4-2s. Tyler 4-2, Zach 4-2, Slaps 4-2 after beating Tyler. And then Cheese, that fumble cost Tyler. He could have been the only 5-1 team at top. Instead, that fumble now puts us all in a mess of 4-2s with Cheese as well. Then we have Zombie at 3-3, Kroenke at 3-3. He would get the final playoff spot if it started today. Then we have Rat at 3-3, just on the outside looking in, based on points for. Although Kroenke does have kind of a bigger margin of points for on Rat. Rat still has the worst points for in the league. Wow.
No.
Ernie at 2-4.
He's not good. He doesn't have a good team.
Yeah, that's maybe why Kroenke was saying the luck will run out.
Right.
Ernie at 2-4, myself at 2-4, then Bill at 2-4, and then Pook after getting his first win, no longer winless, at 1-5. Still in the bottom spot though. So there we have the standings. Real quickly before we get into the waivers and week 6, our parlay for this past week. We were discussing before the show here a little bit about the parlay, and obviously the big elephant in the room was Tyler never gave us a pick, never put it in the chat, as I told him he needs to either DM me it or put it in the chat like he did last week. Didn't do that this week. I added him a few times on Saturday as well, and he never gave the pick. So we will see. It's his dollar will still be used on the parlay. If he doesn't want to give the picks anymore, it will be then just the 11-man parlay, but we will still be putting the $12 on it. And if we somehow do hit, he will not get the money if he doesn't give a pick. So please give a pick. It's not hard to do, Tyler. If you watch this, everybody can do it. It's not hard. I know your feelings about betting. I know you hate betting. I know you think it's horrible and a scam, but just fucking look at the matchups. Find some type of player that you like for the week and just give us the fucking prop each week. It's not hard to do. You don't even have to look up the odds. You can just tell me the player you want and I'll tell you the options for them. I'll make it easy. That's what half this league does anyways. Some first-time losses. Cheese finally lost a play, now 5-1. It was a rough week overall as we only went about 50%. Oddly enough, when I received Pook's pick in a DM, I said, well, there goes this week's parlay, but it actually hit. Jalen Waddle, longest reception, 22.5. So congrats to Pook. He has bounced back after the rough start. Ever since we, changed the rules to give it till Sunday, he has started giving us winners at 3-3 now. So credit to you, Pook. Maybe you just needed that extra time. Maybe you were right and I was wrong about that. Josh Jacobs got his. I hit. Anth hit his with the anytime touchdown for DK. Bill did not with Gibbs touchdown. Rat finally also lost one as well. So no more undefeated pick teams as J.K. Dobbins didn't come. Actually, he was 10 yards short. Ernie lost his. I do find it's interesting, again, that Ernie, this was his idea to do, and yet besides Tyler, he has the worst record in this at 2-4. So step it up, Ernie. And he waits till Saturday night after everybody else's picks are in. He wants everybody else's picks to be in before he gives his for some reason, and then he just gives a loser. So step it up, Bernie. Great job by Zach, 5-1, strong victory for you. Slaps got a little unlucky. He had Kyron. But he wanted Kyron for 50, and those odds were not good enough and changed. So I had to DM him on Sunday morning and tell him he needed to either go to 65, which he should have did, because I think Kyron got that. But instead of just going to 65, he changed his player completely, and then it lost. And then Cronky hit his, and Zombie hit his. So a lot of 5-1s, which is encouraging. Keep picking good picks for week 7, and hopefully we can bounce back and get close and hit one.
I'll be back in a few minutes.
All right. Then looking into week 7, real quickly with waivers. We won't spend too much time on this. There was some money spent, but not too much on the waiver wires. It continues to dry up. Zombie picks up a wide receiver for Tampa Bay for 27. This wasn't even the. Is this the Tez Johnson? Is this the first name actually
No.
Cameron? Oh,
I think there's 2 Johnsons.
Oh, so this
He's
isn't
just the
even
one
the
that
one
got
that
the
made the
longer
long
touch.
touchdown catch? Because that was Tez Johnson.
No,
He
it
had
was.
4.
He's the one that made the long. He's the one that made the long touchdown catch.
Oh, it was. I thought that was Tez Johnson that made the long
No,
touchdown. But then
it
he already
doesn't matter.
didn't he spend
They
a
have
lot
2
on Jake
Johnsons.
Coker last week?
He gave me Keon Coleman.
Oh, you traded. Wait. Oh,
What?
okay. So he
He traded-
traded Keon Coleman to you for this guy, and then instantly drops him in a week.
Uh-huh.
Great trade, Zombie. All right, and then had to spend 27 fat. Okay, I don't understand that. I wish Zombie was here so he could explain why he would even do that trade. Why would you just hold on to Keon Coleman at that rate? Anyways, Slaps picks up Trevor Lawrence, so I guess he's hoping that he could bring some juice instead of Justin Fields. Cronky gets Cade Otton as a tight end option. He also picks up Darius Slayton. Wow, he dropped Luke McCaffrey, which is a little surprising because Luke had a couple of decent weeks. Slaps also picks up Chris Boswell, so he changes kickers, and then Bill picks up another tight end, Michael Meyer. Other than that, not too much. As we said, waivers will continue to dry out a little bit. Looking then at the Week 7 matchups for this week, starting at the top with my matchup versus Tyler. Big week for me. I would really like to try to somehow win this week as I'm 2-4. Don't really want to go to 2-5. Meanwhile, Tyler's 4-2, so big week here. If I win, then it kind of evens the standings a little bit. If he wins, then he goes to 5-2, and I go to 2-5. So not great. At the moment, Tyler's team is projected to win 121-116 according to Sleeper. But like we said, he does have a few injury concerns right now. He doesn't even have Puka in the starting lineup, so hopefully he doesn't play this week. That would help me. Tyler does have Jaden Daniels against the Cowboys. That is a great matchup. As we all know, the Cowboys defense can't stop a soul. So I expect Jaden Daniels to have a monster week. It would not surprise me if he puts up around 30 points like Mahomes did to me last week. Rachaad White against Detroit on Monday night. Detroit was giving up a lot through the air, not so much through the ground, but it is a Monday night player, so 2 Monday night players, as he also has Kenneth Walker. Another 2 Monday night games this week, but instead of 7 and 8, they're at 7 and 10, so just to string it out even longer for me to have to hate watch. Wan'Dale Robinson against Denver is his replacement right now for Puka. DJ Moore, we'll see if he plays against the Saints. Pretty good matchup there. Kelsey against the Raiders. Keenan Allen against the Colts. Olave against his Chicago Bears. And Bates on Monday night as well. So 3 Monday night players. On my side, at the moment, we got Bo Nix against the Giants. Hoping for a bounce back game at home for Bo. I also have Jordan Love, but he also has a tough match. Well, not so much tough. Arizona. We might switch that. Still determined. Genty against Kansas City. Swift against New Orleans. Hopefully Swift can put up another big game against the Saints defense. Brian Thomas Jr. Sunday morning against the Rams in another London game. When will these games end? Is this the last one? Does anybody know? Is this finally the last overseas
There's like
game?
4 more.
4 more? Oh my god.
Yeah,
I'm looking it
like
up.
the whole
Hold
season
on.
is going to just
more?
be
Yeah,
London games?
Yeah, there's a
Hold
couple
up.
more.
Oh, that's
There's
horrible.
definitely a couple more.
There was a
Hold up.
time where there was like 1 or 2. in a season. Now there's like fucking the whole
There's
season.
no way there's not more than.
Rams
There's
are
definitely more.
playing. Shut up, Rhett. The
You shut up.
Jaguars, Rams. Then we have Colts versus the Falcons, November 9th.
Should be going.
There is a 2-week break.
So there's a break. And is
And
that the last one?
No, then we have Commies, Dolphins, November 16th, and that is the last one.
Okay, so there's a break after this one, and then there's 2 more. Oh, Jesus.
Yes.
All right, well, Brian Thomas Jr., if I'm going to beat Tyler this week, he has to have a big game like he had last week. George Pickens against Washington. Washington kind of their defense didn't look great against the Bears. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb might come back. We'll see how that affects Pickens. Still like Pickens, though, with the amount of passing that the Cowboys do because their defense is so shit, he can still get the volume. Maybe not the 30-point games like he's been having, but hopefully he can still put up a good game. Evan Ingram against the Giants as well. He's been coming on a little bit more the last couple weeks, so they're starting to use him a little more. Hopefully they continue to do that. I'm going to need it. Obviously, the big pickup for me last week was Vidal, and he looked great in his first game for the Chargers, getting most of the workload over Hassan Haskins. Had 22 points, ran well, had 124 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Colts, though, are a pretty good team, especially on the line, so it might be rougher for him this week. But with Marvin Harrison probably out in concussion, hopefully, one thing, Mike Evans can hopefully come back, but most likely I will have to start Vidal. Not a great matchup. And then, as I said, Mike Evans on Monday night. It's tough because he plays on Monday night. Hopefully he gets a full week of practice in and can come back and play. I'm going to need him with probably Harrison out. If Evans doesn't play and Harrison doesn't play, then my chances to win go way down. And then Bucker against the Raiders. Overall, injury concerns for both of us. We both have some wide receivers banged up. I'm going to pick myself because I'm going to believe that Evans will play and hopefully play pretty well with Ibuka out. So I'm going to pick myself, but it will be close and tight and probably come down to Monday Night Football once again. Cheese, who is winning this matchup?
I think Tyler's team is still pretty good.
Okay.
With his White's been looking good. Wandale has actually been pretty good with the injuries. Walker, I don't know, but actually DJ Moore. Yeah, DJ Moore's not going to play. So who's he going to put in? Ooh, actually, you know what? His team's kind of cooked with the injuries.
Man, is Jawan Jennings going to play? He could
Limited
play Jawan
practice.
Jennings, or he goes with the 2 tight ends.
You know what? I'm going to take Golfer because I like Genty and Swift, and I really like Pickens still. And I think the injuries are just too much for Tyler's team this week.
Okay.
And also, Bill sent a counter.
Okay, I'll look at that in a bit. Rat.
I think it's going to be a 1-point game. And
Okay.
I think Monday night, Evans disappoints you for a missed long touchdown. And Tyler pulls it out.
Mike Evans. Okay. All right. Zach. Is Zach here?
Zach's not here.
Okay. All right. Moving on then to the next matchup. We have Cheese versus Ernie. This is another battle of 4-2 versus 2-4. So another big time matchup. You know, if all these 2-4 teams win, then the standings get even more tight. So we'll see what happens. Right now, Sleeper projects Ernie to pull out a victory, 116-112, but very close. Ernie has Drake May against Tennessee. Good matchup there, and Drake May has been playing very well. Should continue. Saquon Barkley against Minnesota. We'll see if he bounces back after his bad game. Quinshon Judkins against Miami. That is a very good matchup. I expect him to bounce back after his worst game of the season. A.J. Brown against Minnesota. Who knows? Quentin Johnson back in there against the Colts. Limited practice on Wednesday. I don't know. I just kind of feel like maybe that injury stalls his season. He was having such a good season. You know, sometimes after you come back from injury, you're not like getting the same opportunity. So we'll see though. Kyle Pitts on Sunday night against the 49ers. David Montgomery against Tampa Bay. T. Higgins on Thursday, so he does have a Thursday night play with the Pittsburgh-Cincinnati game. T. Higgins hasn't been doing too much, especially with now the bad quarterbacks in there. But anything can happen on Thursday night. And it is, Pittsburgh. Their defense isn't great, but isn't horrible. Aubrey against Washington as well. On Cheese's side, he's got Sammy Darnold in there on Monday night with Josh Allen on a bye against Houston. Houston's defense is kind of hit or miss. They do have a pretty good pass rush, but who knows what will happen in that game.
Arnold's looking good.
That game could either be a shootout back and forth because Houston did put up a lot of points the last time they played.
I'm hoping for a shootout.
Ago. Or it could be an ugly game on Monday night. I don't know. It could go either way. McCaffrey on Sunday night, so another big player on the evening game against Atlanta. Woody Marks on Monday night as well. Holy shit, your whole lineup is in the afternoon or evening or night. McLaurin, assuming he plays against Dallas. Great game to come back to.
Today.
Assuming he plays, that's a great matchup to have in your first game back. Sunday afternoon. Cortland Sutton Sunday afternoon against the Giants. Ferguson Sunday afternoon. Jesus, you got like 2 players at 1 p.m. on Sunday. Booty in there right now against Tennessee. Pretty decent matchup and kind of to offset Drake May points. Addison against Philly. Rougher matchup, especially if McCarthy's back. We'll see what Addison does with that. And McLaughlin on Monday night as well. This is tough. I think Ernie's running backs, I think they have bounce back games, but you got McCaffrey, you could maybe offset him.
McCaffrey's guaranteed 20.
I think this matchup comes down to whose flexes do better. Does Monty and Higgins do better than Booty and Addison? I think they do slightly, so I'm going to take Ernie in a close matchup. I think it comes down to Monday night, but maybe Woody Marks disappoints and Darnold doesn't do as good as you think. And I think Ernie holds on and survives and pulls out a close one. Rat.
I got to take Ernie because it feels like whoever plays Miami winds up the RB1 of the week. And Junkins is a bounce back spot. And like you said, I think T. Higgins and David Montgomery are better than Booty and Addison for flex. And I think Ernie will be fine.
Okay. What? Sorry, I was just looking at that counter.
All
right.
That counter.
I don't understand all these players that I'm getting that I don't really even want, but I'll look at that in a bit.
Never mind.
Cheese, your thoughts? Are you going to take down Ernie and send him to 2-5?
I think I have some good matchups this week after the tough matchup last week. I like Darnold. He's been good this year. He's going to throw the ball 8 million times. Addison may or may not start. I mean, there's rumors about Myers being traded. I could start him if he's traded somewhere good. Browns. I mean, I think we're gonna. Everyone disrespects my team, but I think we're gonna have a bounce back week. And also, Ernie's team is like. I think the Eagles players are kind of just gonna underperform again.
Okay, so you're banking on the Eagles to continue to be ass.
Well, also, I don't really think Quentin Johnson's gonna start, or even if he does start, it might just be a lad game. Like, I don't think he's going to get big volume again until he's fully healthy. And Ernie is not really anybody else to play.
All right. So you're going to pull it out then.
Taking myself.
All right. Moving on then to the next matchup, as we heard in Cronky's comments, Cronky versus Pook, the team names 7-1 versus 7-0. So Cronky's already changing his team name to what Pook's team name will be next week, according to Cronky. Battle of 3-3 versus 1-5. Sleeper likes Cronky big time, obviously, with Cronky's lineup 135 to 114. I feel like Pook, if he's going to pull off an upset, it's going to have to be kind of like what he did last week, where he puts up a good score and then maybe Cronky's team doesn't perform. Cronky has Hurts against Minnesota. Jordan Mason back off bye against Philly, though. Tougher defense. Bijan on Sunday night against the 49ers after his monster game. JSN on Monday night against Houston after his monster game. So he's got a Sunday night, Monday night player. The newly acquired from Pook, Justin Jefferson against the Eagles, and then Trey McBride against Green Bay, Kendrick Bourne on Sunday night against Atlanta. I like that, assuming Pearsall and Jennings aren't doing anything or playing. Jameson Williams on Monday nights. He's got another Monday night player, and then Dicker against the Colts. On Pook's side, Dak Prescott against Washington. That game could be a sneaky shootout game, as Prescott has looked actually very good this year, especially for fantasy. Cam Scatterbo against Denver is a tougher matchup, but Scatterbo mania is here, and he just runs over anybody. It doesn't matter if you're a good defense or not, it seems like. Breece Hall against Carolina. This could be a good bounce back week, possibly, for Breece Hall after his bad game last week. Stefon Diggs against Tennessee, pretty decent matchup, assuming he plays, which he was limited at practice. Jalen Waddle against Cleveland. A.J. Barner on Monday night against Houston. We'll see if Brock Bowers ends up playing against Kansas City. Zach Charbonnet in there on Monday night against Houston. So this is kind of the battle of the trade, and they're playing their players that they got in the trade. Charbonnet is Kroenke's love, so I am sure Pook is hoping that Charbonnet rips Kroenke's heart out with a monster game on Monday night. And then Henderson in there against Tennessee. Surely Henderson has a better game than what he's been putting up against that horrible Tennessee team. And then Pinheiro against Atlanta. I like a lot of Pook's matchups this week, except for Scatterbo. I like pretty much everyone else has a favorable matchup. Which, if he's going to pull off this upset, he's got to have good matchups and his players perform, which I think they could do. It's hard for me to pick against Kroenke's team when I look at this on paper. I mean, really, the only hole in Kroenke's team is like his last flex spot. But even right now, that's not a hole because Bourne has just been popping off in that 49ers offense. So it's really not even a hole from that standpoint. So I still got to pick Kroenke. I do think Pook puts up more than what Sleeper projects and has a good week with his matchups, but I think Kroenke still wins by about 10 points. Cheese, who's winning? Is Cheese, hello?
I do have.
Oh.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, Poosa's got it. It's not close.
Oh, not close. Okay.
Also, I was looking at the history for the point leaders. I can see the messages sent. And Pusa by far has the most messages sent in Sleeper history with 803. So,
all right.
Yeah,
is that like DMs for trades too?
That just says messages. I don't think it's DMs.
So
I think
that's
it's just messages.
A chat? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's relevant, but okay, thank you.
Because he's a yapper.
Oh, okay. Well, we know that. All right. Rat. Does Bill Pook have any chance?
Don't fluff up Pook offer because this is going to be another 50 to 60 point win for Kroenke.
50 to 60. Okay, I think.
Yeah.
Look at Pook has good matchups. He has one guy with a bad matchup.
What happens if Diggs doesn't play? Who's the sub?
I don't like the Barner, Charbonnet, Henderson.
Golden probably against Arizona. He looked pretty decent last week.
Okay.
I mean, I'm already starting Golden over Charbonnet. I don't know if
he's starting. I mean, you know why he's starting Charbonnet? It's because it's Kroenke's love.
Yeah,
it's Monday night. I would consider starting Golden over Henderson, to be honest. But I mean, he also needs Bowers play. Maybe Bowers turns back the clock. I don't know. I just think his matchups are good enough where he could keep this close. I don't think he's going to get blown out by 50 or 60. I think that's just crazy.
Thanks, Ben.
Okay.
Look, I just think that we're going to be like Slaps is the reason we all lose the league this year.
Yeah, and we all lose our bets. Did Slaps make a bet with Kroenke? No, because he's too poor, right?
I mean, that's why.
So maybe that's why.
3-3. I just gotta keep. I gotta get some wins. I gotta get.
I mean, you're ahead of him, so that's good. You could be me, who's a game behind him already.
I mean, his slow start could tank him.
It's all right. If I lose the bet like last year, I'll just fucking do that double or nothing on the fucking him to win it all, and then hopefully Rat will bail me out again in the playoffs or something, or somebody else.
What did I miss?
We're talking about Kroenke versus Pook.
Pook.
Wow, you're picking Pook?
Just kidding. Tie.
Okay.
Yeah, we knew.
All right.
Tie's coming. We were so close.
You missed Cheese versus Ernie.
Ernie.
Okay. And myself versus Tyler.
Tie.
All right. Moving on then to your matchup versus Bill, as Kroenke already said in his comments, he's picking you by a lot. Sleeper tends to agree, 120 to 108 for Bill. We've we've hammered on Bill's team a lot so far this show. And Sleeper not given a very good projection. He's got Herbert against the Colts, Gibbs on Monday Night Football against Tampa, looking for a bounce back. That's a big game on Monday night, Tampa and Lions. Keandre Miller against Chicago. I understand you're hoping that he gets more and more touches from Kamara, but he hasn't turned it into fantasy production. So until I see that, I don't know about that. Mooney on Sunday night against the 49ers.
He's not even fucking playing.
Well, he's trying to trade him in this trade in our three-way, but I don't know. McMillan against the Jets, that is a favorable one that could be good for Bill. George Kittle coming back as well, maybe boosts things a little bit against Atlanta. He's going with the 3 tight end strat. That's how rough the lineup is right now. The Browns tight end against Miami, it's not horrible matchup-wise, and Hunter Henry against Tennessee. And Minnesota versus the kicker for Minnesota versus Philly. On Zach's side, we don't really even need to go over Zach's lineup because when I see 3 tight ends, I know who I'm picking already. But Zach has Stafford in there again against Jacksonville. Is Lamar? Oh, he's on bye, so then he's probably back after.
He's back next week.
So against Jacksonville, I don't know. Could Stafford have another 9-point game? It's possible. Jacksonville's not bad. Jonathan Taylor against the Chargers. Big matchup there, but it's Jonathan Taylor. Bill against the Cowboys. Wow, that's a great bounce back potential game for Bill against that horrible defense. Romeo Doubs against Arizona. Ladd McConkey against the Colts. Zach Ertz still in there against Dallas. Great matchup as well, so I like that play, keeping him in there. And then Jamar Chase tomorrow night to get you started against Pittsburgh. He looked good in week 1 with Flacco. We'll see if he can continue that tomorrow night. And Jaylen Warren as well. Wow, you got 2 Thursday night players. Again, wow, 2 big Thursday night.
It's going to be a great
players.
Thursday night.
Huh? You better hope.
It's going to be a great Thursday
Better
night.
hope it's not one of those ugly divisional defensive fests that sometimes they turn into.
It's going to be a Joe Flacco
please.
off. They're going to throw it like 40 times again. Okay. It's going to be like 25.
Where is this game tomorrow? Is it in Cincinnati or in Pittsburgh?
Yep, it's in Cincinnati.
Which is versus. Oh, yes, okay. So look at the weather.
And then Bagley against the Chargers as well. I'm going to take Zach in this matchup, as I already said. 3 tight ends.
Yeah, Bill's team is
3 tight ends, and they're besides Kittle, they're like not even that great.
Bill's team's cooked. Okay, it's cooked. He's going to get the players.
I'm going to go further to say, if there was a way for Bill to start 4 tight ends, he probably would. He'd probably start the Michael Mayer guy as well.
Bill, unironically, Bill should start Dart and just see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, the Colts are a decent. Against Denver? No, I'm not starting Dart against Denver.
But look at Herbert's games. 18, 14, 12. Dart gets 2 rushing touchdowns and you see what happens.
I don't know. I think you start Herbert this week.
I'm just saying, I think if I'm Bill, I'm going for upside because scoring like 105 is not going to cut it to beat Jay.
But Herbert and the Colts, it could be a Danny Dimes versus Herbert shootout. I mean, Herbert has upside still this week. Not like he doesn't have any upside.
Also, I would drop Kyler Murray. He is useless. No one wants him. It's a waste of a roster spot.
That's a strong statement. All right, interesting. All right, so you're taking Zach.
I am taking Zach.
Okay.
Win.
All right, Rat.
I wish I could play 3 tight ends in 1 week.
Well, I forgot to mention, Bill's lineup could change if me and Cheese is
I saw the picture. You're not going to like that. I already know.
I get to play Bill and Pook.
It's nowhere near what we offered.
I know. And Pook are my repeat matchups. So
I'm just trying to figure out with this counter that Bill sent. He said earlier that the offer we sent was fair, and then he counters with this, which is like nowhere near the same type of range as what we offer.
Let me look at your return. So you're getting the QB, but you're basically nuking the rest of your team.
Yeah, I don't understand how that helps me at all. Those 2 players offering.
You're basically upgrading QB to nuke your team.
That doesn't. I'm not giving up 2 running backs just to get.
I think Bill
I'll give up 1, but not.
Settings were allowing us to play quarterbacks everywhere because. He would be better if he was the one that. I think he just has to trade quarterbacks this week for anything right now. Honestly, for a running back.
Interesting enough, the original offer with me and Cheese and him, he was sending one of his quarterbacks, but he came back and said he doesn't want to trade his quarterbacks. best
You must have a
so
future plan.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I
but
mean,
we'll
see
negotiate. We will counter back on
if
this.
Zombie ever responds to me, I'll give him Josh Allen if he wants to give me his good players.
Well, he's
but he's
not
not going to
giving you
respond. Yeah. Well, I don't.
Sounds like
Okay,
you're
I don't.
holding
I
Zombie to
don't
a
need Achain, but I need
different
good
standard.
players. I am. I'm not giving Zombie.
Yeah, that's smart. He has a really good team. You don't
Pusa
want to pull a
and-
Slaps and just give him what he
and
needs.
Zombie will not be getting
complete
Josh
team.
Allen. Oh, I'm gonna while we're live.
If only
this is-
Slaps had.
Pusa offered me Jalen Hurts and Kendrick Bourne for Josh Allen.
Well, okay, if you were even thinking
Jalen
that's a
Hurts.
good
No,
one.
that was and Kendrick Bourne. That was insta rejected.
Really? I don't think I don't think that's that horrible.
What do you
Yeah, but
mean? It's terrible.
Bourne's gonna lose all his value.
Horrible.
Maybe, but maybe not. Like,
Okay, but I need a running back anyway, so
yeah.
like if that was a running back, it's a different situation. But his only running back is Mason.
You know what? I'm gonna offer a new three-way with you, me, and Cronky after this. I got an idea after hearing
boy.
that.
Well,
I
will
think,
stay
I
on.
didn't think Cronky liked Josh Allen more than Hurts.
He does.
All right.
So
Anyways,
we'll
let's
give him-
finish these so you're picking Zach, Rat.
Yeah, by
Zach,
like 50, 60.
how badly are you beating Bill by this week?
If I lose to a guy with 3 tight ends, that would be pretty embarrassing.
That would be.
What if you tie to a guy? with three
I'm
tight
not
ends?
finished, Cheese. I said if I lose to a guy with 3 tight ends, that'd be pretty embarrassing. But I could see a tie.
Oh, okay.
A tie would be a win for both of us
All
and the
right.
league.
Yeah, you
So-
know, you got a free win this week. You better take it. So,
I do believe I'll take it, but the tie could come.
okay.
Well,
All right. Then moving on to the next matchup, we have a pretty big matchup here. Rat at 3-3 versus Zombie at 3-3. So the same records. One team doesn't really look like the other, but it's a big
Whoa.
matchup nonetheless. And obviously between Rat and Zombie, the shit talk will be there. Sleeper does favor Zombie by about 11, 128 to 117. Zombie has Jared Goff on Monday night against Tampa, so Monday night players for both quarterbacks, the Baker versus Goff showdown. So that's going to be big on Monday night. Achain against Cleveland. Cleveland's defense isn't horrible, but it's Achain. He always finds a way to get his points. Juggernaut Gervonta coming off kind of a bad game against Washington this week. Amon-Ra as well on Monday night, looking for a bounce back. Roma Dunze against the Saints. Great matchup there for a bounce back from him. That actually will probably be my player prop this week. Need to remember that. After should have had a monster game this past week, he's probably going to have a big one against the Saints. Tyler Warren against the Chargers has been very consistent. And then obviously Rasheen Rice back. Gets the Raiders in his first week back as well. So that could be, I'll be very interested to see what Rice does and what kind of numbers he puts up. And then at the moment, he's starting this Johnson guy on Monday night just to add another Monday night player against Detroit. And he's still sticking with Cam Little on Sunday morning. Interesting. Who does Zombie? He's got Flowers on bye. Yeah.
Yeah, he had literally no one else.
Yeah, I guess he has to go with that guy. Interesting.
Travis
Wow,
Hunter.
I offered him Vidal, and he said, "quote I'm not trading this week." Wow, it seems like you need a
Travis
flex
Yeah,
Hunter.
but he
option.
wants Josh Allen, so
Seems like you need a flex option, and I offered him Vidal. Interesting. So he's going with Johnson. I guess he wants to try to combat Baker points because he's probably thinking that Baker's just going to throw to that guy. Hopefully.
yeah, I
Evans
can't
is
wait till
back.
it's a Cade Otton week and he gets
Whoa,
fucked.
you mean Mike Evans. Anyways,
or
on
Mike Evans.
Rat's side, J.K. Dobbins looking for a bounce back week against the Giants. Rico Dowdle against the Jets, another great matchup for him. I'm sure he'll get 30 plus again, unless Chuba Hubbard's back.
Chuba
Then
said he's playing.
if
Chuba
they're-
said he
if-
is
then
playing.
he's getting like 7 points, and Chuba's getting like 15.
Rat is praying for one of them to get hurt.
Now, can we get you on the record? If Chuba plays, you're playing both of them, you said?
I'm playing, well, this week, no. I said some
Oh.
weeks I would, but this week I would play Dowdle.
Oh, well, that's how you could lose this matchup then.
I could.
If Chuba
But-
comes back and has 15 and Dowdle has nothing, single digits. All right, big decision there for you to make. I hope Chuba's back. Nico Collins on Monday night against Seattle, so they both have a lot of Monday night players. CeeDee Lamb against Washington in his game back. He was limited at practice on Wednesday, so that's a good sign for him to make it back finally. And then we already know Rat's shitty-ass tight end. Sure, I mean, he does play Carolina, but surely you can find somebody better than that. Devontae Smith against Minnesota. Xavier Worthy against the Raiders. It'll be interesting to see with Rice now back. Does that help or hurt Worthy? And then Fairbairn on Monday night as well. So this matchup is going to come down to Monday night. It won't be determined before then. I'm going to take Zombie. I think Zombie's lineup from top to bottom is better. And Rat has some decisions to make. He's also got CeeDee coming back off injury, so who knows how he'll be in his first game back if they take it a little easy. I hate Rat's tight end. I mean, Zombie's tight end is just so much better, and it's funny because Rat had this tight end.
I mean, I got the quarterback.
Yeah, I wouldn't really brag.
I got Baker.
I think I'd rather have Tyler Warren over Baker.
Well, I mean, I had like an ass quarterback back then. So.
I think Zombie wins by about 20. Chiefs.
20. Okay.
This is a good matchup. I'm actually gonna take. I can't take Rat with that tight end. I'm sorry, that's just a waste of a roster spot. I think Zombie wins, but yeah, it'll be close.
Okay. All right, Zach.
Who's playing?
Rat versus Zombie.
Use wisely, Zach.
Two
Both
shitters.
3 and 3.
God damn, two shitters. They both
What?
Whoa.
Lagging.
They both lose.
Okay, so a tie. All right. All right, Rat, are you pulling this upset off over Zombie's team that you say is the best team in the league?
Yes.
So,
CeeDee Lamb 40 bomb and Nico 30 bomb.
And the rest of your team scores 15.
Whoa.
CeeDee Lamb 40 bomb in his first game back, huh?
Let's see. I want to see CeeDee Lamb get more carries.
Yeah, is he going to get some rushing touchdowns? Is that how he's getting 40?
No, he's going to get the ball more than Pickens. That's what's going to happen.
And he's going to catch it? Because that's another
Yes.
component that you...
Yes.
Last time we
He's
saw
gonna get-
CeeDee Lamb, he wasn't...
Last time we
was
saw him, he had
dropping
13
the ball.
targets with 9 catches.
He was dropping the ball the game before.
No.
One could argue he dropped the ball so much the game before that they said, let's try to hand it off to him.
I would sell Pickens quickly because it's over for Pickens.
I think you seem to forget he had 19 when CeeDee
It's
was still
over
there.
for Pickens.
He had 19 in week 2 when CeeDee was still there.
No. It's over.
Okay. There's enough passes in that horrible Cowboys defense to go around.
My tight end is an issue. I will say that, definitely. But other than that, we're fine. And Worthy will be unlocked by Rice. Because that offense is about to turn into a passing offense to the max.
It kind of already is.
Well, yeah, but
Because
I think
Pacheco is ass.
well, that too. But I think it gets better and even more passing. It's going to get a lot better, and Xavier Worthy's not going to be guarded by the number 1. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're pulling the upset off. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Moving on then to the final matchup of the week. We have Anth after his big win this past week versus me at 4-2 versus Slaps at 4-2. So we either have 2-4s versus 4-2s, which need desperation wins for the 2-4s, or we have 3-3 versus 3-3, or 4-2 versus 4-2. So this is a big week 7 close matchups probably happening. Right now, Slaps actually predicted to win 126-119. Slaps has Justin Fields against Carolina. If he can't have a good week this week against Carolina, then you might want to just pick up somebody else and move on. Kyren Williams on Sunday morning against Jacksonville. He's been playing pretty well lately. He does have Chase Brown in there against Pittsburgh. I hate the matchup, and it's on Thursday night. If you can get 10 points from him, I think you're happy. Devontae Adams on Sunday morning as well, so it's 2 big Rams going Sunday morning. Fat Diarrhea Debo, he really needs him to play because he's got a great matchup against Dallas. What was the news on him? Still bothered by a heel. Misses practice Wednesday. That doesn't seem great, but it was only Wednesday. Darren Waller against Cleveland. He's also listed as questionable. He was limited. Probably nothing major. Against Cleveland, kind of a tough defense. Josh Jacobs against Arizona, also limited in practice. Tucker Kraft as well, and Boswell tomorrow. So he's got 2 Thursday nights, got some Sunday mornings, and no Sunday night or Monday night players for slaps. Interesting. On Ant's side, he has Patrick Mahomes against the Raiders on Sunday. That probably another 20-plus point game for Mahomes. Etienne on Sunday morning against the Rams, so they both got the running backs in that Sunday morning game. Surely it's better than the last London game last week. Kamara against Chicago could be decent. DK Metcalf tomorrow against Cincinnati. He looked good last week. Drake London Sunday night against the 49ers. He has been taken off lately the last couple games. 25 before the bye and then 31 this past week. So expect another strong outing from him. Laporta on Monday night. So he does have a Monday night player that it could come down to. Ramondre Stevenson in there against Tennessee. And Pittman against the Chargers and Matt Gay against Dallas. Obviously, James Cook is on bye, which is why he needs to play Stevenson. I think this could be the closest matchup of the week. I think these teams are pretty equal. They both have some holes in certain spots, but overall they have a lot of solid players. I think they're both kind of playoff teams. I think I'm just... If you told me that Chase Brown was going to get 10 plus tomorrow and Justin Fields is going to have a good game in that favorable matchup, I would probably take slaps, but I don't believe those two things are going to happen. So I'm going to take Anth in a close, like around 10-point game that's going to come down to Monday night, but I think Anth pulls it out again on Monday night like he did this past week against me. Cheese.
It's Anth. Slaps' team is so bad.
Wow. Okay.
It's not so bad, but I don't know why you'd trade Jalen Hurts. I don't know what he gained from that.
Because Tyreek Hill got hurt, and he
So you could have
needed a
found
wide receiver that wasn't
like
even
it's Jalen Hurts.
Ugh.
I'd rather keep Jalen Hurts and you find someone on waivers or you make a different trade.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams is not that guy.
Yeah, I think he could have traded Jalen Hurts, but I don't see why he needed to trade.
He could have gotten a much better
McBride.
return. He could have gotten a much better return.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think Ant's
Slaps has his
team.
reasonings, but
Look,
and
Ant's
he,
wide
apparently he's
receivers
still
are
happy
good.
with that trade.
For some reason, they give Ramondre the ball. He might do something. I like Pittman. So, and Mahomes is looking really good again. So
Yep.
I'm taking Ant.
Okay. Rat.
Anth has good matchups this week, so
Okay.
for like everybody. So yeah.
All right, Zach.
Well, looks like this is going to be a steamroll. And I think we all know who.
We all picked
do we?
Anth, so.
Hey, everybody knows steamroll. You guys said it.
So steamroll for Anth. Okay.
I never said that.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, so there we have the Week 7 matchups. Like I said, a lot of Thursday night, Sunday morning, and 2 Monday night games, so make sure you keep an eye on your lineups for this upcoming week.